Looks like it's time to do the brakes on the Q5. So in this video, I'll show you guys how I replace both the front and the rear brake pads and rotors on the Q5. So let's just jump right into it. Here's the setup that I went with. This here is just an OEM equivalent setup because the Q5 is just a road trip slash family car. So in my opinion, there was no need to upgrade. As you can see here, the front and rear rotors are Zimmerman blank or smooth rotors. And then I also got Textar semi-metallic brake pads. I got this whole setup here off of FCP Euro, so if you guys also want to go with this setup too, I'll put the link down below. Now, let's just get straight to it and get these brakes replaced. Well, let's start with the fronts first. First thing I'm going to do is spray PB Blaster right here in this area where the rotor meets the hub, so that it could possibly help with removal of the rotor easier. The next thing I'm going to do is try and decompress the pistons on both sides as best as I can by prying in between the rotor and the brake pad. Now I'm going to remove the brake pads and this little retaining clip here by removing and popping out this long rod here that kind of holds it all in together. I'm just going to use a punch and a hammer to hit it back out. Now we should be able to pull the brake pads out. And pop off this brake pad wear sensor. Looks like the other side broke already on mine. Then I'm going to remove the brake pad wear sensor. First, pull it out from here. Just pop this bleeder cap cover off. I'll pull this out. And then you got to pull it off of this little bracket here. Pry this top portion here out and then twist. Pull it down. And then unplug it from the connector by pressing this tab right here back and pulling it out. Now we're going to remove the caliper by removing the two 21mm bolt that holds it in the back. You have one right here, and if you look down here, you have another one right there. Caliper's off. Remove this little T30 torque screw that holds the caliper onto the hub. Now I'm going to remove the rotor by hitting it with the hammer towards the edges here. Whoops! Before installing all the new parts, I'm going to clean the dust shield and the hub area with some brake cleaner, some brushes, nylon and light metal brush, and a rag. Once everything is clean, now we can install the new parts. Also forgot to mention that I did clean the caliper as well with using the same process as cleaning the dust shield. So now let's install the rotors. Line it up to the holes. Install the rotor retaining screw. I have to use the old one because the parts that I bought didn't come with new ones, so I just dabbed a little blue thread lock on there. Install the caliper with the two 21mm bolts. Torque the two 21mm caliper bolt to 196 Newton meters. Now let's install the new brake pads. When installing the brake pads, make sure that the slot is on top, as you can see here on the caliper. And you slide it in just like that. But before I do so, I'm gonna put some brake grease on the sides here, because that part here makes contact with the brake caliper. Just apply a little bit on each side. Remove this. And just slide it into the slot. There for now, we just gotta line up the holes to when we're gonna hit the long pin in to secure the brake pads in. So the brakes that I bought did not come with new hardware, so I'm just going to use the old one. I did also clean them up using brake cleaner, some wipes, and some of the brushes. So I'm going to install the lower pin first. There's a hole right here, and this goes into this way, and it's going to slide into this retaining clip, just like this, and then through both of these holes. And then make sure this little like a bearing is on the inner side. And then just hit that pin on this side until it sits flush with the caliper carefully. And then you should see it start to protrude a little bit from this end here. And now the top pin, same way. It's going to be a little bit harder because there's more tension. And lastly, the brake pad wear sensor. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to use the old one again because the new stuff that I bought didn't come with the new brake pad wear sensor, and it usually does. So I'm going to have to go and buy that after this. Same process as you remove it. Plug into the connector coming out from the car, and then you just slide it into the bracket there and turn around and it'll lock in. Lock it in back right here at the bleeder nipple cover. All right, now that completes the replacement of the front brakes. Now let's go and do the rears. If you are finding this video to be helpful so far, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to stay updated on videos like these that could possibly help you guys out on future DIYs. Thanks. Now let's get to those rears. So the first thing we need to do is release the rear electronic parking brakes, and I will be doing that by using VCDS. Plug the dongle into the OBD2 port. Plug the USB side into your laptop. Turn your car on. Release your parking brake first. Open the VCDS program. Then go to select control module, go down to 53, parking brake, go to basic settings, hit OK, go to this drop down menu here, click start lining change mode, hit go, you hear it run and do its thing, then it'll say finish correctly. Now we are able to change the brakes. So go ahead and just hit done, go back, close controller, go back, and exit. Turn off the car. Before I start to remove anything, I'm going to spray PB Blaster between the rotor and the hub, just like I did in the front. Now let's remove the caliper. It's held in by two 13mm bolts. You got one right here with this big old weighted thing right here, and you got another one down right here. Pull off this brake line real quick so we have more movement. Brake line just goes into a little bracket right here. Now the caliper should be able to come off. Goes. Remove the two brake pads, one on each side. Remove these two retaining clips right here. Now we're going to remove the caliper mounting bracket, this guy right here, or the caliper carrier bracket. There is two 18mm bolts back here that holds it in there. So you have one right here, then you go down, you have another one right here. And now this can come out. Remove this little small T30 screw. Now we can remove the rotor by hitting the rotor on the edges. Woo. Now before we install the new parts, we gotta clean everything up. So the dust shield here, the caliper, and the caliper mounting brackets. And the way I'm gonna do that is the same as the front. I'm just gonna use some brake part cleaner, rag, and some brushes. Okay, now let's decompress the piston on the caliper. You do not need to spin the piston. It'll just actually go down normally, like how fronts are. Just keep going until it stops. Don't force it in anymore if it stops. Now that everything is cleaned up, we can install the new parts. Install the rotor first. Line it up to the holes. Install the little T30 screw. Install the caliper carrier bracket with the two 18mm bolts. Torque both of those bolts to 100 Newton meters and 90 degrees. Install the two brake pads retaining clips. Install the new brake pads. Now before we install the caliper, you want to lube up the surfaces where it contacts the brake pads. So basically here on the piston and then on here on these two little teeth area. Now we can install the caliper and bolt it down with the two 13mm bolts. Turn your car on, and lastly we need to re-engage the electronic parking brake. So go to select module 53 parking brake, basic settings, okay, click here, it's already on there, but hit end lining change mode, click that and hit go. Finished correctly, hit done, go back, close controller, go back, exit, and re-engage the parking brake inside the car and turn off the car. And that completes the brakes replacement in the rear. If you guys have any further questions about the procedure, just comment it down below and I will try my best to help you guys out. Now it's almost about that time to tune the Q5. And if you guys missed that video where I actually tuned my B8S4, go and check it out right here. And also subscribe to my channel right here. Thanks.